Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Thursday. We're on day 14 of self love, and I decided to change it up just a little bit. I didn't particularly care for today's lesson, even though I did handpick it. And I decided to go back to an old faithful, right? One that we always see in any of the self love practices, and that's gratitude. Gratitude is definitely an important part of self love. Um, Being grateful for even just, a cup of coffee or a favorite mug or, a tiny notebook um, can be, can really help with your mindset. It can remind you of how fortunate you are, even if you don't feel fortunate, right? Like maybe you open social media. Oh, well, look at that person with their this, that, or the other. Don't worry about them. Okay. Don't worry about them, because that's their life. Focus on yours. Find gratitude in the smallest of things. I always find that the small things are my favorite things. And by that I mean, just yesterday I went out for a walk in one of our called Heritage County Park, and what they've done is they've taken a bunch of old Victorian homes before they were, demolished, and in the 70s they moved them, and there was only one they were able to move without having to either cut it in half or take the roof off and then reconnect them and put them back together. But on my walk, there were these pretty little flowers, and I just like, I took pictures, and I thought, wow, I love that my phone takes these really pretty pictures. And yeah, I mean, it's my eyeball catching it, right? But I mean, how it just, when you get close, it's almost like your phone is intuitive now. Well, it probably is. And it makes it even, like you adjust it perfectly, and then it's kind of like, okay, and then we're done. But no, we should show gratitude for that, because maybe that flower's not there blooming for you, but it is blooming for your, your enjoyment and your entertainment needs. And those houses, maybe they weren't moved there, specifically so you would be happy, but there are things that we can focus on. There are things that we can be grateful for. We can be grateful for the biggest things and the smallest things. So that's why I decided to change today's lesson to gratitude. All right, so I'm going to read this. And I'm reading it off my computer because I didn't have enough time to write it down. So, daily gratitude is the key to happiness and loving yourself. Starting a gratitude journal, an Instagram channel, a blog, or just take 3 minutes every day to think about all the things you have to be thankful for, such as your health, your life, your friends, your friends. Oh, I love this. M&Ms. I thought I was reading that wrong. M&Ms, how long that old pan has lasted you, or how the person on the bus let you off first. When we get comfortable, we get ungrateful. Change that and show gratitude every day. According to Harvard Health, gratitude can make you feel more positive emotions, and research has shown it can improve your overall well being. This is not wrong. A lot of times they'll talk to they'll, when you do a lot of these things, or when you're trying to change mindsets, or you read the self-help book, gratitude is always in there. They say that it's good to gratitude, like 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for every day. And I would say even as much as 3 to 5, and not to minimize the idea of 10, because 10 means you're really, really focusing on it. But 3 to 5 in, to start feels a little bit more doable, because when you tell someone to make sure you do 10 every day, it can get overwhelming for certain people. If you can get up to 10, great. But I would start with three, I would start with three and see how that goes. So, I I in particular love gratitude. But it's not wrong when it says when we get uncomfortable, we get ungrateful. And I notice that with myself. When I get comfortable and I'm just kind of doing the do, I I forget my gratitude. I'll sit there and go, "Oh, I'm so blah blah blah," but I forget to think or say thank you in my head about certain things. I mean, out in the world when people do kind things for us, yeah. I just realized I had this hair sticking up. Sorry. Distracting. Um, when we're out in the world, yeah, say thank you. That's being polite. But sometimes we forget to check in with ourselves with gratitude in our daily lives. Like for instance, right, this crow just flew over my window. I'm so happy and grateful for, being able to see the miracle of nature. or the tree that's blocking my view that I used to have 20 bazillion years ago. I'm so happy and grateful for that tree because now I may not be able to see past it, although there's not much to see past it. Just a mountain with houses on it, but I get to see the birds, right? So there's always something to be grateful about. Even in our deepest, most dire moments, there's gratitude. And I'll give you some examples. When my mom died, um, you're like, how is there gratitude for that? There was a lot happening that week. I had already told my boss that when my mom decided to stop her treatment, I told my boss, I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you this now that when my dad gives me the call, I'm just going to call you and I'm going. And it's like at that point, I didn't care if you want to fire me, fire me. I didn't say that to her, but she understood, and I had the backings of other people in that office, so I knew I was okay. But I told her, I said, this is my mom, so priorities. And so my dad called me on a Tuesday morning. Hey, I think it's time. You need to come down. Blah blah blah. And I got there and, I just went to sit down with my mom. I held her hand. She'd been out, I want to say a coma, but she'd been out since the night before. And, so, I took her hand and she woke up for a second. And all she said was, babe, I'm glad, I love you, but what are you doing here? Those were her last words to me. Babe, I'm, I love you, but what are you doing here? And it's like, I didn't know what to say. I just said, I love you too. And I'll let dad explain that. But by the time my dad came back out of his room, she was out again. And as far as I know, I mean, I wasn't with her 24/7, but as far as I know, she did not wake up again. If she did, she woke up for other people, and those are their private moments. So I've never asked. But I was grateful that I had that she was coherent enough for a moment to say her last words to me. And those are words I'll never forget. But I will say this. At that time, I was already practicing gratitude. I'm so happy and grateful that. And I didn't really understand the process of it. And to be honest with you, I don't think I thought about it until right now, how effective it was. But there was some problems with her church. My mom was born and raised. I say born and raised. My mom was a diehard Catholic, but but I mean, she started learning how to accept my spiritual side. So there's a bonus. There's something to be grateful for. But yeah, we were having some problems with her church and trying to get them to do her. Well, I think they call them blessings of the sick now, but when I was growing up, they were called your last rites. Hmm. I know, which sounds ominous, but I mean, it's exactly what it was. And we finally, I gratituded for the right answer. I prayed for the right answer, and I got threatened them with bad stars on Facebook. And I finally did, and finally someone called. I know it sounds terrible, but three of us had called, and I tried to be as nice as I could. And then I just pulled a book out of siblings playbook that says, you know what, play hardball, if because this was important to my mom, and she was not going to let go until she had that blessing, because I know her, and my dad knows her. So finally on Thursday, her favorite priest showed up. So there was gratitude. I gratituded that the right person would come. And yeah, and the minute his thumb touched her forehead, you could hear the sigh. And then my dad looked at me and he's all, what do you think? And he's all, how much time? And I'm all, not much more. We lost her the next morning. But I'm in those dire moments, I was grateful that I had that time with her, even though she wasn't awake for most of it. It gave me time to make peace with what was already happening, what was already coming. When older sibling lost her mother passed away on the surgical table, so the operating table. And nobody really passes away during those procedures, but I think that was her way of letting go without anyone saying, please, please don't go. She was a very strong-willed woman, and she was, a big influence in my life. And I didn't know her for very long, but Mom Barbara will always have a special place in my heart. But sibling never got to say goodbye. Same with her stepmom. Her stepmom fell in the bathroom, never got to say goodbye. She finally had the chance to say goodbye to her father, even though he was a bit incoherent. But and it was still hard, but there is a difference when you're able to say goodbye. With Sissy Joe, when she passed away, I was grateful that I had the time to spend with her. I stayed the night with her because she didn't want to be alone. And I think maybe subconsciously she knew, but consciously I think she was still fighting to stay here. But I was grateful I had that time with her. We had good talks, we giggled, we laughed, we had that time. And I feel bad because again, older sibling, missed the opportunity because she wasn't feeling well and she didn't want to, pass it on. So there's a lot of you know ways that we can show gratitude. It's not just in those happy moments, or it's not just in those moments when we need something or want something. It's in every moment, even the saddest ones. I mean, did gratitude make my pain go away? No, but I am grateful when I look back on it that I had that time, that I had those moments. So even when you're struggling to find gratitude in, again, some of your most dire moments, some of your hardest moments, maybe you're struggling financially, maybe you're struggling emotionally, maybe you're struggling physically, maybe it's all of the above. um you're going to sit there and go, screw you, gratitude is the last thing on my mind. But you know what, gratitude should be the first thing on your mind. I have learned this the hard way. I have learned this, you know um through a lot of trial and error, because it really does change your mindset. What you put out there is what you're going to get back. Regardless of what your spiritual beliefs, your religious beliefs, or anything are, what you put out there is what you're going to get back. And if you're putting out something negative, you are going to get back something negative. It's the law of the universe. It's Murphy's law. It's whatever law you want to call it, but it's a real thing. If God came down to earth right now and told you, or any of, whoever you believe in, wherever you, not who you believe in, but wherever you lay your faith, if any of them were to come down and say, hey, gratitude, you'd be like, oh, okay. But if a human tells you that, you're like, yeah, I'll think about it. So I am telling you to just go with gratitude. Be grateful. Be thankful. Someone holds a door open for you, pay attention, please. Oh, I almost dropped an F bomb there because that drives me nuts. Um, I don't hold doors open for people so they'll thank me. I don't. It's just, I was raised to be polite and courteous. But when people don't, it does chap my hide. I will tell you, because sometimes I will go out of my way to help someone because I see they're just not, they're not, they have a lot going on, and then they just walk by like, you were supposed to be there to be their doorman, their personal doorman. So, like I said, I don't do things for thank yous, but I don't think it's wrong to expect people to be courteous and polite either. So there's your Miss Manners, what you call it, for the day. And I have to tell you, sometimes I get testy about it. Sometimes I'll just be like, okay, whatever. Other times I'll be like, you're welcome. Because, a lot of times I notice it's the younger people, and I don't know it. And sometimes they're not even on their phone. They just walk right in. It's just like, okay, I don't work here. I am not your personal door person. Okay. But so yeah, anybody, I don't care how old you are, check yourself. All right. If someone's doing something kind for you, say thank you. It doesn't take what's a second. Thank you. Be polite, be kind. If someone's walking in behind you, hold the door for them. Don't just let it go in their face. I can't tell you how many times I see that. That drives me nuts too. Um, yeah. So anyway, that, what, I think I'm gonna make that a whole different subject, because there's a lot building in Shelly Marie right now, and she's gotta unload at some point. So that's gonna be something later. So anyways, um, again, gratitude. I am so happy and grateful for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's really that simple. I am so happy and grateful for. Thank you, or thank you for this. Thank you for doing this for me. Thank you. Gratitude goes a long way. Gratitude is the non-monetary currency of polite people, good vibes, and ultimately manifesting good things for yourself. And the more we practice gratitude, the more it really kind of settles into our self love, because we start being grateful for all of the things in our world, not just the things that happen to us or are given to us. We learn to be thankful for, for here, I'll share this guy, for Blue. I know I wasn't very creative with the name, but I did get creative with the spelling, Bloo. But Blue, right? I found Blue out of the blue. And that's one of the reasons I named him too. He's got a little felt head or something like that. Actually feels like fake grass, but I love it. But yeah, wake up to this little fella every morning and he's adorable. So, but I'm grateful for that because I turned a corner and there was like a whole area for fairy garden stuff. And I was like, nobody ever thinks about this, right? You usually have to go on some website or something to find it. And but there it was. There it was. And there was a bunch of them. His cousin, that's right, his cousin Berg sits outside the front door. He likes the weather. So, but that's me too. I have a brain that loves to write, so they all have backstories. But and you're probably thinking you're insane. No, I'm not insane. I'm creative. But being grateful has helped me tap back into that creativity. Being grateful is what led me to Little Blue. Well, actually, Little Blue is the computer, but it led me to Blue because you know what? Sometimes you just need something that's sweet and cute. Sorry, sweet and cute and precious to make you smile. I have a Happy Meal toy behind my computer too. It's Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. I have a bowl of crystals sitting over there, and people can giggle, people can laugh, but I'm grateful for all these things. And of course, y'all know what I'm really grateful for: my journals and the pens. That's right. I mean, in fact, I was telling people, I made such a big deal about loving pens that every time someone goes somewhere, they buy me a pen. My cousin got me this from the South. So, even as much as something is a pencil, be grateful. Be grateful you have a writing utensil. There are people in this world that don't have one. I was reading an article yesterday about a girl whose parents were so poor when she was growing up that they had one fountain pen between the two of them. And because the father was on the road and a musician, he always took the pen. So the mom couldn't write anything until he got home. And yeah, that was like a gazillion years ago. But there are people in this world that have that problem. Okay? We're lucky we don't. I'm lucky to be sitting amongst piles of pens and pencils. So be grateful. Be grateful for every single thing you have. Be grateful for the outfit you're wearing, the underwear you're wearing, everything else that goes into your daily makeup of who you are. Be grateful for that, for the food on the table, the drink, in front of you, for your friends and your family, uh, for the car you drive, if you drive a car, or if you have public transportation. Um, if you live in London, be grateful for the public transportation there. I have never enjoyed not driving so much in my life. I thought it'd be like, how the hell am I going to get around with that car? I was not driving on the other side of the road because that would have just not ended well. Well, it might have, but no, I'm not that brave yet. But no, I mean, oh my God, I never enjoyed riding a bus so much in my entire life. You know, seriously, or even the tube. Although that's still a little um, intimidating, but still, I mean, we take things for granted. We take things for granted. We look at people on the bus and go, "Oh, well, you're on the bus." No, these people are finding a way to get somewhere. Be grateful you're sitting in a car or a taxi or an Uber. All right, be grateful. Find gratitude in everything. There is gratitude in everything. There is gratitude in the air you breathe outside. Okay, so daily gratitude is the key to happiness and loving yourself. Start a gratitude journal, an Instagram channel, a blog, or just take 3 minutes every day to think about all the things that you have to be thankful for, such as your health, your life, your friends, your M&Ms. I love that. How long that old pan has lasted you, or how the person on the bus let you off first. See, when we get comfortable, we get ungrateful. Change that and show gratitude every day. According to Harvard Health, gratitude can make you feel more positive emotions, and research has shown it can improve your overall well being. So, again, have gratitude, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be grateful for every morning you get out of bed. Be grateful, the minute your feet touch that ground, just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for a new day. You know, a chance and opportunities of a new day. Okay, so I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. I'm not really sure what time. If my dad decides to keep his appointment, then it will be either before or well after 8:30. So I will see you tomorrow at some point. So have a great day, everybody. Again, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.